looking at these number one seeds, they're all looking pretty freaking strong. But as we know, it's not usually the case that all four number one seeds make the Final Four. Which of these number one seeds do we think is most vulnerable to not make the Final Four?
I think it's Duke.
You think so? Tell us why.
Duke's young. Duke's already messed up plenty of times this season to show us that they could potentially not be capable of keeping up with the big dogs.
Yeah.
Granted, they were in a really, really, really tough conference. I love the ACC this season. They're awesome, but I just don't think Duke's got it. I think they might even be out before the Final Four.
Not only did they lose to Miami, but at the end of the season they struggled a little bit against Virginia Tech. Now maybe they were taking that, maybe they were looking ahead, maybe it was a look ahead spot for them. But Miami wasn't the only time that they got beat or that they looked vulnerable. So you might be right. And I'll tell you what, I forgot which one of you guys said that you were a little bit down on Gonzaga. I'm kind of up on Gonzaga, actually. I think they've got a balanced team. They've got big men. Maybe if Gonzaga and Duke match up, at the very least, we want to bet Gonzaga on the spread, or do you think that's maybe a foolish thing to do? What do you guys think?
I would add to Megan's point that Duke is outside of top 50 for adjusted defense. So they're they've got some issues at the defensive end as well. Gonzaga is, I'm not sold on Gonzaga myself. I think that's going to be a popular thing to say. I think Iowa State is my pick to come out of the bottom of the South region. I just really like how they're playing. I know it's kind of a two-sided argument when you see Iowa State coming from behind in all these games. You could easily say, well, hey, they dug big holes, but they came out of big holes. I think they're comfortable if they play from behind. They can score. They can run. I don't think many teams can run with them. So I would say Iowa State is my pick to come out of that region, and therefore I don't like Gonzaga, I don't like Duke, and those would be a couple of my upsets.
Really? Look, in my preview of the Big 12 conference tournament, I picked Iowa State at 4-1 to win, but that was primarily because I thought that Kansas was a very overvalued favorite. Here, though, they might be able to play well in stretches against Gonzaga and Duke, but you think they'll really be able to outplay them? They're likely to outplay them and actually win the game? I'm not exactly sure about that. I mean, like you said, their propensity to fall behind is something that's tough to do when you're playing a truly elite team, which I don't really think Kansas is, or the other teams they came behind from in the conference tournament. I
agree with you. I look at Gonzaga, and it's tough for me to buy into them. Take a look at who they've played. Who have they played? Have they played any top 20 teams?
I can tell you right now. They
lost the only game that they played against
They went into Arizona and went on the road and went to overtime. Yeah, they lost that one, but they went on the road into Arizona, a legit elite team, and took them to overtime, Dave Golokhov.
No, I know, but they didn't win.
But they took them to overtime.
Close only counts with, hand grenades and horseshoes?
I think if we're analyzing future success, close counts a lot.
Listen, my personal opinion of Gonzaga, not very strong. This is a team that has been ripe for upsets in previous tournaments. We've seen them come in strong. We've seen them come in with high momentum, lots of momentum, and fall short. So I'm not sold on them. I don't think they've played enough good. They've played some good teams, but they haven't won enough good games. So I'm not on Gonzaga here. I'm on Iowa State.
All right, Jordan Sharp, you don't think we can look at Gonzaga and say, wow, that road team, that road overtime game at Arizona is really impressive and really telling that this team is a team you definitely don't want to be betting against when they're going up against elite competition? Arizona on the road, Jordan Sharp.
Okay, if you're going, that's fine. If you're going with brownie points, I'll give them brownie points. But Dave's right. A win is a win, and they didn't get one. And I also, if I'm going to break the tie between this Iowa State Gonzaga thing, I'm firmly on Iowa State.
Really?
I picked them. I was gonna say that I wouldn't go as far as say that I'm gonna pick them to win the South. But I will say that I think that in a Sweet 16 matchup in Gonzaga, I think they would win. That this team's powerful. And they play in a much better conference and had a very, very good record this season. They are the type of team, and they were my pick as well. But the question I believe was that we had earlier. Which team outside the top two do you think could make a deep run of the tournament? Mm-hmm. I think they could possibly get to the Elite Eight. I don't know about Final Four, but maybe it's possible if you guys are as low on Duke and at least Dave on Gonzaga, then they could legitimately make it to the Final Four. I think that's potential. I think here.
All right. Well, clearly the South is shaping up to be one of the wide open brackets here.